Welcome back to my travel vlog. On Sunday, we went into Brooklyn for Cuts and Slices Pizza. It's at the corner of Halsey and Howard. This pizzeria is known for their oxtail slices of pizza and other flavors. Everyone said that we would have to wait in line and get there early because they are known to run out of oxtail. So they open at 12 and we got there around 11:30 and the line was already around the building. They were giving out free waters, which was cool, and there were no issues on the line at all. We waited for about an hour before we made it inside of the building, where we ordered 2 sweet chili oxtail slices, 2 jerk chicken slices, and 1 black truffle lobster and shrimp slice. There's no place to eat inside, so we actually went to the park across the street where we saw other people who waited with us eating there as well. They had signs inside the building stressing to be nice to the staff and thanking patrons for waiting. The employees were really nice, and we stopped to talk to the owner as well, who mentioned that they have been open for 5 years and they're actually opening a new location on Linden Boulevard in Queens. So the next time we come back and visit, we might be at the Queens location. No telling though.
The sweet chili oxtail, that's the one.
Yeah, agreed.
That's the one. Jerk chicken's good. It gets better with like each bite. You get more of that jerk flavor. But yeah, they got the oxtail joint a lot. Like I want to try the other flavors now.
Yeah.
On Monday, we had tickets to see the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island, so we took the R train to Whitehall Street and walked down to Battery Park, where we went through airport-style security before boarding the ferry to go to Liberty Island.
I know that ain't the boat. I'm just like, I know that ain't it.
It is.
Oh my God, that's the boat.
So the ferry will fit all of us, and it does have a 30-minute schedule that runs between Ellis Island and Liberty Island and Manhattan Island. And they also have snacks, but make sure you bring cash. We made it! Once on the island, we were on our own time, and I was so thankful that we booked the earliest time possible so that the island was not overrun with tourists and whatnot. We had pedestal tickets, which granted us access to the pedestal and amazing views of Lady Liberty herself, along with the city skyline. I had been twice as a kid, but never to the pedestal, so this was different. The tickets for the excursion were about $25 per person. It includes the boat ride, access to Liberty Island and Ellis Island, and I'm going to link the website below since there are a few counterfeit sites out there, and apparently New Yorkers and tourists get scammed all the time. Through these doors, there is the first museum, the restroom, and the elevators to the pedestal, followed by a couple of stairs. These are the views from the pedestal, and as you can see, we are really close to Lady Liberty. Just really close. And fun fact about Liberty Island, it used to be a fort, which kind of makes sense since you can see just about every vantage point possible. So once we left the pedestal, we actually went to the lower half of the Star Point fort formation, I guess you can call it. And so you can also get really great pictures and views from this vantage point as well. Here's Joe trying to get a selfie of himself. Liberty Island has two museums, one being older than the other, and the second one is much, much cooler than this one. This right here is the second museum, and it is obviously the more modern one. So we climbed the steps, and they have so many more cooler exhibits and whatnot, and just a lot more inclusion as well. As you can see, Harriet Tubman is featured there, and they had exact replicas of her ear, her toes, and even her face. They also had the original torch on display. The current one that she holds up is from 1986. This was just too cool. Next, the boat took us to Ellis Island. This was actually my second time at Ellis Island. My grandmother took me over 20 years ago when I was about 12 years old, and this was not the same museum. They had way more inclusive exhibits, and they started with the journeys and how everyone got here, including my ancestors, something that was not discussed in my first visit. And they discussed Native Americans, everything. I loved seeing all of it.
There's one family that can trace. They can.
The second floor is the registry room. In this room, lines of people immigrating to the US stood in line and went through even 6-second medical inspections. Like, that's crazy. Like, 6 seconds to look over somebody and see if they were or were not okay. And through this corridor, there were a number of different exhibits that just showed the process for getting into the US, including exams, even health inspection cards that looked really, really familiar, like COVID, and some graffiti, which it was really cool to see how people expressed themselves back then. This right here is the hearing room, and then we have the currency exchange room where people from all around the world would exchange their money for US dollars right here. These were the mental health tests that they would give individuals. And this is a bowl that they would typically use to eat out of. And Joe and I were pretty exhausted after that. I thought this was pretty funny since he loves juice. And we were down the street from Wall Street, and so we wanted to get views of the New York Stock Exchange. On Tuesday, we were headed back to JFK Airport, and we took the air train yet again. And one more time, this is just $10 per person roughly. And so we took it all the way down to Terminal 4, where we were met with a huge TSA line. It did move very quickly though, probably 30 to 45 minutes in this line, but I wouldn't count on it. Once we got off our flight, we were headed back to Mississippi. Thank you for watching.